For 2/3 cups of flour for every 1/2 teaspoon of honey. What is the unit rate of cups per teaspoon? So that tells you what the ratio is. So cups per teaspoon. So 2/3 divided by 1/2. So that would look like this. So remember, when we divide fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal. So we would end up with 4/3, which is 1 1/3. So that would be B, which is 4/3. So they left it as a fraction greater than 1. Okay, so that answer should be B. Please remember, in order to receive credit, you must have shown all of your work. All of the work. Okay? Please make sure that gets uploaded into Focus tonight by midnight. So I would do it right now. I would not procrastinate. Take a picture of it, get it uploaded. It is worth 2 points extra credit. Remember that. All right. If you would, open your books to page 304 so we can finish the lesson from yesterday. Page 304. 304. And then we're going to work on the on your own today. Okay? All right, page 304. All right, so if you remember the rules from yesterday, so let's go back and look at those rules. Okay? So here was the first rule. The sum of the two shortest sides must be more than the longest side. And this is the rule for a triangle. Right? The sum of the two shortest sides must be longer than the longest side. Okay? The second rule, when given 3 side lengths, and this should say of a triangle, we can only create one unique triangle. So, of a triangle, you can only create one unique triangle. And then the last rule from yesterday, when given 4 side lengths of a quadrilateral, you can make more than one. Remember, we said we can do infinitely many. Infinitely many. Okay? The other rule that we didn't quite get to is kind of like the triangle rule. So, the 3 shortest sides of a quadrilateral must add together and be longer than the longest side. Okay, so that means if let's say I have a quadrilateral that is 1, 2, 3, and 4. That means I need to add together the 1, the 2, and the 3, which is 6, right? And it has to be larger than the 4. Okay? So that is the 2 rules for quadrilaterals. So highlight those because you're going to need to remember them today. All right. So now we're going to apply those rules for these last couple of problems. So it says, in parts A through C, let A and B be the shorter lengths and C be the longest length. Compare A plus B to C to determine if the triangle can be made. Write less than, equal to, or greater than. So Nina wants to make a triangle picture frame from the strips of wood that are 9, 11, and 15. So 9 and 11, if I add those together, I get 20. So what am I going to use? Less than, equal to, or greater than is 20 blank of 15. So what would we have? Correct, Taylor. It is greater than. Okay? So it says, since the sum of the lengths of the two shorter strips is greater than lengths of the longest strips, Nia can make a triangle. Okay, so the next one says, Gerard has pieces of string that are 6, 5, and 11 in length. He plans to use as a border to a collage. So, 6 plus 5 is 11. So what can we do? Less than, equal to, or greater than? Equal to, correct. So if it is equal to, then it cannot make a triangle. All right. Olivia gives her niece leftover pieces of ribbon for art. They are 12, 10, and 24. So 12 and 10 is 22. So is that less than, equal to, or greater than? It is less than. So it is less than, so it cannot make a triangle. All right, so Emil is making a bamboo picture frame. Given the side length shown for the first two sides, what is one of the possible side lengths that will form a triangular picture? All right, so as you can see here, we have an 8 and a 5. So we're only given 2. So this one's tricky, okay? So I'm going to draw that triangle partway here. So this is an 8 and this is a 5, right? This has to be larger than this. So if I add 8 and 5 together, I get 13. So that means, and we'll call this X, right? So X has to be larger, not larger. X has to be less than 13, right? So as long as it's smaller than 13, so like 12.99 would work. Okay, so that's why we have to write it as S is less than 13. Okay, but what if I take this triangle and I flip it and I make the longest length 8 and the base 5? So that means whatever I add to 5 has to be greater than give me an equal of 8, right? So I know if I add 3, I can get 8. But we don't want it to equal, right? So I know if I put in 3, I would get 8. If I put in 3.1, I would get 8.1. And 8.1 is larger than 8. So that means that x has to be greater than 8. Okay? So that is how you would look at these answers. So it says 5 plus 8 is 13. So one side length that will make the triangle true is 12. So we could do a variety in here, right? We could say 8.1 to 12 point, and this could go on forever, right? So anything in between there would work. So 9 would work, 10 would work, 11 would work, 12 would work. So 9, 10, 11, and 12. So anything in that range. 9.5, 8.5. Okay? So there's a lot of numbers that would work in between there. So that's why we write it as an inequality that looks like that. So 8 is less than x, but less than 13. So x falls between there. Okay? All right. So let's do one more of those. And then I'm going to release you guys to do the on your own. So I want to look at number... let's look at number 23 on the on your own. Okay? So they gave us 9 and 21. So what I would do, guys, is I would draw 2 triangles. It's much easier. That's okay, Taylor. You're fine. Okay? So if I draw the 21, so let's say 21 and 9, and I add those together, I get 30. Right? So that means this side has to be smaller than 30. So if this was x, right, it has to be smaller than 30. Because it needs to be like 29, 29.9999, 25, something like that. Okay? But what if I flip it? So if I make this x, this 9, and the longest side 21, x would then have to be greater than. So if I put something here, I would have to figure out. So 21 minus 9 is 12. So if I put 12, I get 21. So it has to be larger than 12. So for example, 12.1, 12.2, 12.3. So this is what the inequality would look like. So I have to draw a visual so that I can see what goes there. Okay? We don't put the line underneath here because if I add the line, that means 12 works. And 12 doesn't work. 12.1 works, but not 12. All right, so with that said, you guys are going to work on the on your own, and you're going to do numbers 3, 4, I don't want to do that one. Not 7. trying to find whether the quadrilateral. So 3, 4, 9, 11 through 13. Fifteen, 17, and 19. Okay, so I will put that in your daily agenda because I know I did not put that there yesterday. Okay, so that is what you need to be working on today. And as usual, I am here if you have questions. Or need help. Come on. All right, so get busy. All right, so numbers 3, 4, 9, 11 through 13, 15, 17, and 19. All right, so that has been put in teams. Okay, remember, what is due tonight is 9-1 and 9-2 that you are working on. That needs to be uploaded by midnight tonight or completed into math or seesaw. So wherever you complete it, it needs to be done.